Hey guys, welcome back. This is Anna here. So this is week 5 for me, and week 5 actually makes exactly 1 month of me being on the Cambridge Weight Plan diet, or the one-to-one diet as it's also known. And I wanted to share with you my progress 1 month on. It is fantastic news for me, so let me just dive straight in. So in the last week, I lost a total of 1.9 kilos. That is actually 4.2 pounds, which I am so excited because I had a bit of a tiny slowdown. And this brings me back to the 1.5, maybe 2 kilo loss a week, which I am super delighted with. So it feels like things are finally moving. As I said last week, just because it felt like the weight was slowing down gradually. I had confidence that it wouldn't stay that way and it would continue to pick up. And my body definitely felt like I was losing some weight. So I was delighted to see the result of that this week. So that's the weekly result, but I also wanted to give you the total month update. So in the month of June, I have lost, since I started the Cambridge Weight Plan diet, I have lost a total of 11.1 kilos. That is 24 pounds, or it's also a stone and 3/4 of the second one, which for a month result is such an amazing outcome. I couldn't be more happy with it. I have told you before in previous videos. I feel amazing. It's making a huge difference to myself, to how I feel overall. I just couldn't be happier. And 11 kilos in 1 month. Wow. I mean, the difference that a single month makes. And when I compare that with the previous month, so at the start of May, and how I was feeling there, clearly I wish I had started sooner and I had been doing this for months. I cannot allow myself to think that way. I am where I am. I have started it. It's a really positive place. Having lost 11 kilos is fantastic. It's just an amazing outcome. So I will I will stop relishing on my own results there. But what I also did want to do to share with you this week is my reflections on what I think is helping me to stay on track and to get these fantastic results. It helps me to also think about what I'm going to do going into the next month. So I did want to spend some time sharing that with you. So I have 5 key things that I think have made the biggest difference to me achieving the results on this diet. So number one, is being super motivated. I know that that's a really obvious place to start, but I had a family member who did a little mini intervention. It was very timely for me. It really made me reflect of where I was, weight and everything, and they did it in a very loving, supportive way. And it made me try to think about it. And I think I must have been in denial up to that point, and it forced me to rethink where I was, my size, my weight, what I was doing to myself, and I clearly didn't want to be in that space. So I was thinking about what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and I was determined to find something that I felt would help me to lose weight quickly, but in a way that was natural without having to resort to extreme measures. Now, some people think that these might be a bit extreme because I'm replacing all meals. But I actually don't think it is that much when you consider that you get the full nutritional value that you need every day. So it was what I needed to help me break away from my previous habits that I was conscious I wanted to stop and to break, but I wasn't quite sure how to go about it. But I was determined that I wanted to introduce that change in my life. So finding what it is that makes that thing click in your head, that makes you determined to say, I cannot allow myself to continue like this. I have to lose some weight. I have to make a difference to myself. That was really important, and I definitely managed to find that for myself and get myself into a space where I wanted to do this no matter what, and I was going to do whatever it took to help me lose the weight. So getting into that super motivated state was really the starting point. Moving on to number two. So, and the reason why it's number two is once you find that thing that you think is going to work for you, stick to it. And in this case, you've heard me say that before, stick to the plan because the plan works. But to be able to do that, you have to be super motivated to do it. That's why I wanted to start with motivation as step one. Step two is stick to the plan. The what plan works. It's been scientifically proven. There's been plenty of evidence, not just from me, but from the actual Cambridge Weight Plan diet organization, and the Oxford University also, I believe, has done a study on how it has supported people lose weight on a long-term perspective and the improvements to their health. So the plan work is there for a reason. It's very well thought through. So if you stick to it, it will work. But unless you're motivated to do this, you will find excuses. So get that something that makes you click, and then once you do that, stick to the plan, and it will help you. It will work for you consistently, because one of the things that I love the most about this diet is the fact that if you do it and if you stick to the plan, 100% guaranteed that you are going to lose weight. Now, I have done tons of different diets. I have gone to doctors and got properly checked out, and gone to dietitians and joined different groups. I've done all sorts of different weight loss plans over the years, and this is the one that I feel that actually does help me to consistently lose weight. It may be more, it may be less, but I know that I'm going to see a weight loss at the end of the week when I jump on the scales, and it makes me want to jump on the scales, which for me is unheard of. It doesn't make me afraid of them. It makes me want to look forward to seeing what the results are going to be. And it's just such an amazing feeling to get excited about what you're doing and how you're losing weight, and knowing that you're doing the right things, and you can take it for granted. The weight will come off. Just stick to it. At least that's been my experience. So I hope if you're doing it, I hope it is yours too. So number three. Number three is to introduce variety. Now, let me caveat this. For me, variety is a really important thing. I need to change what I'm eating, the flavors that I'm eating, the textures, the temperatures. So I like to have a combination of hot, cold throughout the day. I don't mind having smoothies, but I do like to have something to chew on and to eat. I don't like eating the same thing every day. I don't like eating the same thing from one day to the next. Whether it's for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, or for a snack, I don't like to repeat from one day to the next. So having the variety and the range makes a massive difference to me. And having different options just means that I can cater to whatever my different needs are. I have done juicing before. I did juicing for about 60 days, and it was super effective. But by the end of it, I was sick and tired of it. And not by the end of the 60 days, to be honest. By the end of the first week, I always wish I could have something warm and you wouldn't have tea. But, that feeling of being able to chew and to eat something and get your stomach working on it, it's just very, very different. So these helps me achieve similar results. But A, I know I'm getting all the nutrients that I need. And B, it satisfies that need for maybe something sweet, something savoury, something warm, something more liquidy in cool days, something a bit more solid and warming and comforting for colder days. It has a huge range and variety. So for me, it's really important, and therefore it works for me. If you're a person that variety doesn't bother you and you like to consistently know what you're eating because you like to have your breakfast, your lunches, your dinners, your snacks, you can do that too. So just find the thing that you like the most. I would say, first of all, try the range, because you'd be surprised what ends up being your favorite. So give yourself the space to try everything. But if routine and predictability and consistency are your thing, then try the range, find the ones that work for you. Once you do that, stick to them. It's as easy as that. So just think about what works for you, and then make sure that you cater to your needs. That's the main thing. For me, it was variety, and I definitely feel like I'm getting that. So that was number three. Number four is to plan ahead. So not really leaving anything to chance. I have shared before the 2 times where I didn't plan it, or I didn't, even if I did plan, I didn't bring the meals that I needed with me, and therefore I ended up going too long without eating, and I had a reaction where I felt like I had the flu and I had the shakes and I just didn't feel well. So, and that's entirely my fault because I'd gone too long without eating, over 7.5 to 8 hours. So I don't recommend that to anyone. I feel so much better. My energy just is balanced, and I feel good when I eat my meals every 4 hours throughout the day, and that keeps me balanced. It keeps me satiated. I feel like I'm full, like I have had nice meals, and it keeps my energy just at a constant. And also, mental clarity really helps me to concentrate and to get all of the things that I need to get done throughout the day. But when you, what I mean by plan ahead is not just about making sure that you plan the full meals. It's also thinking about what are the sort of things that you're going to need, and try to give yourself that that full week view of what you're going to look at, so that, you know, if you got family visiting, or if you're going to see friends, or if you go to do that, find what are the potential triggers for you and what is it that you can do to stay in control. So, for example, this week I had I have some work events that I will be attending, and also there's some meals, and I have made a choice to not go to those meals because I just don't want to put myself into that position. But over the weekend I was visiting family and they were eating. I think they actually felt a bit self-conscious to eat around me. So what I did is I just went shopping. I took a bar with me. I had a coffee, a nice coffee in my bar whilst I was out, finished my shopping, came back. They had finished eating. And then we just spent some time together. There was no problem. You know, just find things that work for you, find things that work for other, but also think about what you're going to need. So, for example, I like to have 2 warm meals during the weekend. And during the weekdays, I like to just have a bar because it's just easy and I can just run from one meeting to another. I could do different things at work. I don't have to be limited or conditioned by food. I can just throw it in my bag and go anywhere and do whatever I want. So that really works for me. At the weekends, I'll be at home and I like to have a meal, and it just feels a little bit different and a little bit special. So just plan your events, plan your weeks, plan your needs on a daily basis, and think about what products might work better. Now, you will have a little bit of adjusting to what are your preferences, etc. But there is enough there in the range to help you adapt to whatever you need. So if you plan ahead, you should be able to work around it. And the other thing that I like to do, maybe I just plan a little bit too much ahead, but I'm actually visualizing what it will be like to do the 12 weeks. So if you are starting on the diet and you start on plan 1, whether it's 1A or 1B, you will be on a 4-meal replacement a day for a 12-week period. And I'm actually thinking about the 12 weeks that I have ahead of me and what I will be doing when and what I will need to do, so that by the time that time comes, I don't need to start from scratch or be caught unaware thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to handle what's coming that week? I already know, or I give myself enough time to think about how could I manage that. And I even talk to my consultant about it and say, look, this is coming. Now, you may not be as extreme as me because we've been talking about our holiday in August since probably week 2 and how we're going to manage that. And then we're also thinking of going skiing in February. And we're talking about if we're continuing with the diet, what will we do then? And also, you know, how do we want to manage around Christmas? Now, I have a huge amount of weight to lose, so I can see that I'm going to need to be doing this till Christmas and during the Christmas period. So I want to prepare myself for how I'm going to manage that. And I like to think ahead because I'm at the point when I'm having conversations with family around what plans do we have, etc. So I want to make sure that I have worked out my needs first and what I need to do to help me continue to do the plan and continue to take care of myself, but still have that family time and that Christmas kind of celebration without making food the center of attention, which I have to admit historically it has been. So I know it may sound a little bit crazy to be talking about Christmas in July. We've literally just started the month of July. But planning ahead works for me. Planning ahead, you don't need to plan 6 months ahead. You may just need to plan 1 week. You may want to plan 2 weeks. You may want to plan a month, whatever works for you. But if you give yourself that space to look forward a little bit and think about what you will need, you will be able to identify different strategies or different ways in which you can deal with different life situations, so that by the time that happens, you're ready for how to react and you know what you're doing. You don't leave it to chance, or you don't leave it to your decision making on the spot. So that that has been quite powerful for me. So that was number 4. And then moving on to the last one, number 5, is to focus on yourself and to focus on your diet daily. Now, this is slightly different from the planning ahead, but they do go hand in hand. Focusing on the diet daily is to reflect on, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you're eating? How are you feeling? How is that? Are you building the habit? What are the things that are working? What are the things that aren't working? Is it a product you enjoyed more or less? How did you feel? How did your digestive system feel as a result of that? And do something to track that. Now, I do various things to help me with the daily focus. So I track my food daily on an app on my phone. I use Lose It. Some people use MyFitnessPal. Whatever works for you, but I like to track all of my meals, even if it ends up being, quite cyclical throughout. Like every other day I may have mac and cheese, and every other day I may have a cherry and strawberry smoothie and this kind of stuff. But I do like to do that tracking. The other thing that I do is that I have created myself a little journal where I keep track of my day. I do write in it again what I ate. I know it's a bit repetitive, but it does help me to write it down. Because when I write on one is just to build a habit of tracking what I'm eating. My journal, it's more about reflecting on what I'm eating, on what I'm feeling. So if I'm having any symptoms, any detox symptoms, if I'm struggling with digestion or not, if I'm having to have more or less fiber, if I've had a day where I was very stressed and therefore I felt more hungry, or if something happened and it meant that I was pulled into different meetings and I wasn't able to drink as much water, and then how that made me feel. I don't necessarily track all of the water that I'm drinking. I mean, that would be ideal, but I just can't keep track of it. But I do record whether I feel that I've drank enough water or not throughout the day. And that helps me focus on me. That helps me to reflect. That helps me to take time to think about how my diet and my day-to-day life is impacting or not, how I react to food or how I'm feeling. Because I think, I am someone who has always used food for something other than nutrition. And what I mean by that is I have used food as comfort. I have used food as entertainment for boredom. I have used food to cheer me up. I guess that's comfort as well. I have used food for energy when I was feeling low, not slept well. I have used food to help me cope with anxiety and stress. So, it's all the classic habits of all the things that you shouldn't do with food, but food has effectively been my go-to resort for dealing with everyday life. But that's not a healthy habit. It's got me to where I am, and I need to learn to find different things. So the journal helps me to record how I'm feeling, and also helps me to reflect on how I have dealt with different circumstances. Because just because I'm dieting, my work stress doesn't go away, my anxiety doesn't go away on its own. The different challenging situations do not go away, and I still need to deal with them. If I get bored, it doesn't go away. So I have to learn to deal with that and find myself hobbies and other ways to entertain myself that is not food related or cooking or something like that. And and food is not comfort. Food is a nutrition to fuel your body with energy, and that's kind of the shift that I want to make in how I think about food, and that is really helping me to do that. So those are the 5 things that I've been using throughout this last month, and I believe have really helped me in sticking to the diet, but also to feel really positive and to want to continue to do it. I will throw you one final thought. I guess my bonus tip as I've been doing this, which is to really appreciate the process. I know that this sounds like such a topical thing, but I actually am really enjoying the daily discovery of what the weight loss is doing to my body. Of course, I am not where I want to be, and when I look in the mirror, I still see a million things that I wish were different. But I am starting to see things that I like a bit more than I did before, and that's so encouraging. So, I've mentioned before, I can feel my face has gone down. Yes, of course, that will need to go down more, but I feel like my face has narrowed. I'm starting to get some cheekbone definition. My legs have gone down a lot, and my calves, and I'm really feeling it. My belly's going down in different ways. I also feel like my arms have gone down. So, every day's, it sounds crazy because your body doesn't really change that much overnight, but actually every day I feel like there's a different part of my body who's getting that tiny bit leaner, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying the fact that I'm getting into all clothes that I had not worn for a while. I'm even enjoying when some of them don't fit yet, but I'm starting to measure by how much and how far I'll have to go until I'm able to fit in them. And I'm starting to see the progress, and like trousers that were miles away, just getting that bit closer. I'm also wearing clothes now that I wasn't able to wear, so it's not just about getting closer. I am wearing different clothes, and that's amazing. It does make you feel good. It does make you carry yourself with a different level of confidence and energy. So all of that's coming through. So appreciate all of those little daily wins. I think people call them the non-scale related wins and victories. They make such a difference. Anything from being able to wear a ring that you hadn't been able to wear, or a shirt that you love that you had stopped fitting into, or even trying to even a coat you put on a jacket and it feels that much looser. All of those little things make a difference to you. They all count. They're all daily victories. Take the time to appreciate them, because they do make your life. They are the little things that cheer you up, and they cheer you on, and they keep you going, and they keep you wanting to do more. So do take the time to do that. Anyway, I will stop there. I hope that you found this useful. I hope that if you're doing this, you're having great weeks. I would love to hear from you. If any of you up there would like to leave some comments, of course, subscribe, even better. But I would love to hear from all of you out there how you're finding it, and if there's anything you'd like me to cover, please leave any messages and suggestions. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.